So even though she has described herself as basically being human trafficked, she says, I was not one of his victims. And his victims deserve the space and time to discuss what happened in those rooms. At one party, allegedly at Diddy's mansion on Miami Star Island, the same mansion he allegedly put up as bail collateral after his September 16 arrest on racketeering and trafficking charges, Superhead remembers it like The Great Gatsby. Men in tuxedos, topless women in angel wings, champagne and synchronized swimmers on the outside, with group relations in the bathrooms, trays of hors d'oeuvres and drug pills being passed around on the inside, like the movie Babylon. You choose your pill, you take your champagne, and that's your vibe for the night. It was intense. She adds that was kind of one scene, but there's more. She says seeing a video of Diddy attacking this then girlfriend Cassie after an alleged freak-off was triggering. She says, I didn't watch the whole thing. It was very triggering. I knew exactly what that was, revealing that she has been frequently abused by rappers that she dated. I know exactly how that feels. And I think the reason why she's saying she's not a victim is because she's going to continue to do appearances and sell books. She may be still involved with people, and that's the other shoe that's probably going to drop. You got people who still want to have relations with people who were negative to them and abusive of others. They still want to have those relations even though they speak about it vaguely. And that's what the spider's web is that even though Diddy's doing these freak offs and everybody knows about the spiked baby oil, allegedly, they know about this, the whole give your phone up and take this pill before you go inside, and people graping people, this and that. People still want to do business with Diddy unless he's found guilty. If he pleads guilty and does a little bit of time and gets out, people are still going to want to do business with him, even though his name is tarnished. And that is why the machine is never going to truly be changed, because those with power, those with money, those with connections, those with things to hold over someone else's head, they're always going to be in the industry one way or another. They're always going to be gatekeepers. And even after all this stuff happens, unless they are in prison for the rest of their life, like R. Kelly or Harvey Weinstein, they're always going to be a gatekeeper. People are going to eventually move on to the next flavor of the week, flavor of the month. And those people who are gatekeepers are still going to be allowed to victimize others. And I don't really see it changing, but this is a good thing because some people will get restitution. More people will be able to know about what goes on in the industry to prevent them from being victims. And hopefully those people who have been kind of like hiding in shame and secrecy, they'll get a chance to come forward and speak their piece and probably have a weight taken off their shoulders. So she adds, it's not just Diddy and it's not just music or hip hop. The problem, she says, is men who deep down hate women. And she's basically talking about dudes that are jealous of women. They want to be women, and they don't believe that women should be anything except for a less than. There's so many people who will join in with, we'll just say, negative people to say negative things about women, when in fact the women are being labeled as things that they're not, and they're being forced to do so. And that is a good thing in having the conversation about men who hate women. That's Karrine Steffans' picture of her outside of Hustler Hollywood in Hollywood, California, attending a party and signing of her book Satisfaction. She says, men who hate women, men who hate who they are, who can't admit to their sexuality, who are pretending to be straight when they're not, and they hate women because they can't. They don't love women. Most of them want to be women, and they can't, and they hate us. They beat us early and often. She has a point, and I agree. There's a lot of guys that are like that. She has to understand that when starting that conversation, she ruins the conversation because she reveled and gained a little bit of notoriety and success. And she's also capitalizing off of the fact that she was Superhead to married men, to a bunch of different men. Even though she's starting the conversation or she's a part of the conversation, she's also a part of the problem.
Uh-oh, stinky.
Because you could say that someone like Young Miami, Superhead, all these people are victims, and they are victims of a machine. They also hurt other people. They also benefited. And it's kind of one of those things where she's right, but because she'll always be known as Superhead, she's wrong. And that also helps keep the machine going and help to victimize others, because people will hear her warning, and they'll be like, yeah, but she slept with such and such's husband and a bunch of other married men, and she'll be forever trash to me. She remembers popping ecstasy and Diddy taking her and rapper Exhibit to a queer club. And another moment, Diddy allegedly warned the rapper, who she called a friend, that she was the type of woman who would have you, quote unquote, on tape with fingers in your back door. That was so weird. It was so weird, she says. And Exhibit thought it was weird. She says, I mean, we haven't even had relations, Diddy and I. So I'm like, well, that's a weird thing to say. Every person that comes forward and tells their story, someone else is going to say, well, yeah, you're saying that you experienced this, you were a victim of that, but what about what you did to me? And there's been an alleged memoir of Kim Porter that's been floating around that people have been reading, and Diddy's daughters, the twins, they feel like their dad has been targeted, and they say that the memoir is fake. And a lot of stuff is going to come to light. People who are Team Diddy are going to say it's fake, and people who are against Diddy will say it's not fake. You're not really going to know what's real and what's not real, even if it is paraded in court. This whole thing's a circus. And I think the only thing that really is going to matter is if Diddy does a plea deal, how much time he'll get. If he's found guilty, how much time he'll get. What names he drops. What evidence will be presented. And overall, who else will file a civil case. That's what people are going to remember. And his family, whether he's guilty or not, whether they're involved or not, they're going to be defending him because they're not really defending him as their dad or him as a businessman, mogul, or what have you. They're also defending their own name. So anything that comes from the Diddy camp, as far as saying that something's fake and this is not right and this and that, understand that they're protecting their own self-interest, and you got to take what everybody says with a grain of salt. The shenanigans are at an all-time high. Diddy allegedly has an adult tape with Jennifer Lopez. Ben found out, and that's part of the divorce.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I don't believe that. But we're going to review it anyway. You got to take media takeout with a grain of salt. And there's an explosive rumor circulating on social media and is now picking up steam. Radar Online, which is a tabloid website, again, grain of salt. Not everything is verifiable, and sometimes they just make up stuff for clicks and views. Radar Online is reporting that Ben Affleck may have seen a Diddy and J-Lo tape, and that may have been part of the cause of the divorce. The reason why I don't really believe this is because when Ben first got with Jennifer, it was after J-Lo and Diddy part ways after the nightclub thing where Shine did 10 years. So if Ben was going to ask questions like that, he would have already been asking.
Sex with me so amazing.
And if last time she didn't give an answer, he wouldn't circle back around and be like, hey, you know, I just want to kind of know just to be knowing it. Because, I mean, look how much time has passed from the first time Jen and Ben were together to right now. So I think this story is false, but we're going to still go through it and entertain it because it's trending. According to Radar Online, the scandal over Sean Diddy Combs allegedly making an adult video laid waste to both Lopez's marriage to Ben Affleck and left her second marriage with Chris Judd in tatters. If anything ruined Chris Judd's marriage with Jennifer Lopez and maybe even Ben Affleck's situation with her, it wasn't really anything that happened as far as a tape. Diddy lives and spends money at a higher level than those two. Even though Ben Affleck, Chris Judd, they're rich, richer than me, they're not going to spend money like that for vacation, gifts, maybe even parties. They're going to be kind of like average as far as adults who are in a higher tax bracket, in that they're going to spend money, but they're going to do it reasonably and on a budget, where someone like Diddy, he has a certain image to uphold. So he's going to be more like the Great Gatsby. And Diddy, because he's a wild guy, he's always been wild, he's always had other women, he's going to be less inclined to trip over stuff that Ben and Chris Judd would trip over. So the magazine spoke to someone, quote unquote, who reported people close to Diddy say that when they were dating, he made a video of them making hot, passionate love. Now, it could be a video that was made or a tape. A lot of people, a lot of couples, they will make adult tapes together, or adult videos rather, and have fun. So I'm not saying that didn't happen or couldn't have happened. I just don't really see someone like Ben Affleck or anyone who is with someone like Jennifer Lopez, Kim Kardashian, and other women, like maybe even Superhead, women like that who are known for, let's just say, being exploitative, being exhibitionists, being perpetually in a 304 phase, in my opinion. I don't see a guy or any men getting with them really tripping on their past. They're probably more concerned that that Jennifer Lopez doesn't embarrass them and looks good on their arm and they don't have arguments and stuff. But as far as like her past, they're not really tripping about that because they can have any woman they want. They can have any woman they want, and Jennifer Lopez is somewhat of a trophy wife, if you will. And so slowly the word spread through the tight-knit group of backup singers, dancers, and musicians who work for top stars. And according to Suge Knight, the alleged tape between Diddy and Lopez may have also played a major role in her split with Affleck early this year. Now, I know that someone like Suge Knight would have not just came out and said that, because listening to Suge Knight's jail interviews that he does with different bloggers, he beats around the bush and he eventually circles it back to himself. If you ask about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, he's going to go left field with the conversation and he's going to make it about himself hanging out with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. And he's not going to give you a straight answer because he wants to make everything about himself because, I mean, he's in jail and this is all he's got. The 59-year-old record producer and convicted felon speculated the FBI recovered the alleged tape they might have and other compromising videos featuring Lopez. Probably so, in addition to other people. When federal agents raided Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami mansions, that was this past March. They then allegedly gave the videos to Affleck, who could never look at Lopez the same way again. And that's the thing, like, why would the FBI show Ben Affleck videos of Lopez when Ben Affleck really hasn't had any connection with Diddy to give them anything to indict the dude on trafficking charges and other things that he's charged with? They wouldn't do that unless we're accusing the government of blackmailing people, like maybe you have an agent who wants to blackmail someone, and that's possible. But if that was the case, that would be included in this rumor story, in my opinion. Quote, it's a white man who got respect in the white man world. I'm quite sure they said, we want to show you some things about your wife. And I don't think they do that. I don't think they do that, because if they were to do that, Ben Affleck would sue the government and you would hear more about this. And I think if that was like the deciding item that would break them up, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck would be going after the government, getting a large payday, and they would use that story to springboard their projects. When he sees the crap that her and Diddy were doing and who they were doing it with, I'm quite sure they gave him them tapes. And I'm quite sure that he can never look at her the same. No, if anything, he probably, if those tapes exist and exactly how Radar Online is saying that they unfolded, Ben Affleck probably was like, you know what? Me next. Whatever the reason for their divorce, we'll never know, or maybe we'll know in the future when one of them gets upset enough and they want to promote something. But until then, I think just the idea that Diddy allegedly has an adult tape with Jennifer Lopez and that caused the divorce between Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, I think is false. I do think it's possible that Diddy had a tape. I guess we'll see as more evidence comes out. Maybe it'll come out in the trial. Who knows? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video, share to your social media, subscribe, click the notification bell. I'm Spade Parkland. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.
Spade Parkland.
Use my Cash App card when I cash her out. No. Shoot her 250 on Cash App, then I ask her out.
Cash App, what's your Cash App? Cash App, what's your Cash App?
Get on your Cash App, $
Spade Parkland.
We're going to start getting some work done, family. So please get them donations in. Get them in. $
Spade Parkland.